Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to make this Braveheart head sculpt into a stop motion puppet. This will be one of a few videos, and this time we're just going to be applying some hair and painting it. So, hope you guys enjoy. When it comes to stop motion, you want your faces to be pretty dynamic and easily animated. The thing is, this one isn't. I sculpted this head during the Super Bowl actually and decided, you know what, this will make a good puppet. So here we are, and I'm going to make my best of it. If you couldn't tell by the beginning, this puppet is going to be Braveheart, from the Mel Gibson movie about the Highlanders who fight against the British, and it's a big war and it's really cool. I like this movie a lot, and I thought it would be epic to have a full-on stop-motion puppet that I could do some neat stuff with. So you guys get to experience the whole process of making it. I usually don't make videos about how I make my puppets, but I figured with all the time I spend, I might as well do that with this one. So first off, we're going to start off with a red wash. I have some Testors acrylic paint, and I just mix it with a little bit of water, and you can apply that onto the face just very lightly, and you can add that kind of red tinge to the skin. That makes it really realistic, and you want to kind of buff it with a cotton ball, and that'll make it so it dries fast but sticks on there, because you don't want a ton of red, but you want enough just to show through. So now that we have that done, we want another wash actually. It's going to be yellow acrylic paint, and you do the exact same thing. You mix it with some water, apply it in places like along the temples, cheeks, places where it's a little lighter, and you kind of want to add that yellow tinge to bring out that kind of orange when it's mixed with the red. It makes a natural skin color that's better than just using tan. Right here I'm also adding a little scratch on his forehead just because he had it in the movie and I wanted to be accurate. You want to paint that scar with just some normal pink paint, just literally white and red. And I'm also going to use that pink paint for the lips, get a little color there so it's not too flat looking. In case you're wondering what I'm using to reference this, it's literally just like a picture on my computer. There's like a lot of different ones, but I picked an image of him pre-battle, so he hasn't been all scarred up and messed up yet. Usually when I'm sculpting too, I just look at a picture of them and I get a pretty accurate sculpt, just going by all the different images on Google and looking at different angles, and you can get just a pretty good view there. At this point, I'm almost done with the painting. It's just general shadows here and there with the black paint. I mean, as you can see, I did like a 5 o'clock shadow. It's literally another wash. You want to always make sure when you're doing these that you add water to your paints, because if you don't, you're just going to get a really nasty kind of goopy look. Just lighten it up a little bit. Unless you're going for that matte kind of goopy look, add water to your paints. It always helps, especially with acrylics. So here I painted the eyes, and how I do the eyes, if you're wondering, is I just get some white glass beads, and when I'm sculpting the head, I mold those into the sculpt. Usually with these are supposed to be able to move, so you can take a little needle or something and you can move them within the head. But with this one, I baked it for too long, and I'd already spent all the time sculpting it, so I tried to move them and I heard cracking sounds. So I was like, okay, I can't do that. So his eyes are going to be stationary. We're not going to be able to move them for the animations, which stinks, but I mean, they're so small you're not going to be able to tell too much. Now we're going to start on the face paint, which you saw me mixing it. It's just a thicker acrylic with my Testors paint. Mix that together and it's a great medium. It dries matte and it looks more like real face paint to me. So I used this, I just outlined kind of where I wanted to paint it and filled that in. Went all around the eyes, the sides of the face, and I went along with from the images and saw what the pattern was. It was kind of weird, but it turned out really well. I went back over with a darker blue, just the straight up Testors paint, just to do the shadows here on the face. Give it a little more depth, you know. And after that, it was pretty much good. I had to do a little scratch on the face that I forgot about, but I just kind of rubbed the paint off there. This next part is where it gets a little complicated. We're going to use some E6000, and you're going to apply that onto paper. It's like a sticky, kind of dries as a rubber, and you're going to apply the hair to that and create a strip of hair. And the hair will stick onto that, and you can place that onto the head, where you want to place it. And this is going to be how we apply our hair to the head. It's a new method I kind of figured out. I'll post a link to that website in the description where I found it. It was a really helpful website. It's Morzamor. It's like some Russian website, but they have really good insight on how to make these kinds of things. I'm just going to be applying that all around the head, different lengths. I couldn't film all of that because I needed to be a little more focused. It's pretty intensive, but it's not terribly hard. Anybody can do it if they tried. That's what I did for this. Just pieces of yarn that I had unraveled. Just pasting it onto the head with this. I also just wanted to take this time to thank everybody who's watching. This is one of my first long form videos, so just any support is great. Here's where I got to the most important part of the hair making process. It's the bangs. So with these, I needed to apply the hair kind of going forward so I could push it back. And you can see how I do this entire thing basically. I just can peel that E6000 with the hair on it off of the wax paper. That's what I'm using, by the way, wax paper. And put it on where I want it. I need to kind of trim it a little bit, but yeah. And then I can glue it down with some Gorilla Glue. And then it's kind of looking forward. And I realized this, I was like, man, what can I do to fix that? And I decided to take another strip of hair, put it behind that one, and I had a little bit of glue there, and that way I could push that front piece back, and it would stick back on that one, looking how it is supposed to look. Just kind of brush back like that. So yeah, that pretty much sums it all up. He's pretty much finished. The only changes I might make is cutting his hair a little shorter here, and then also putting a hole in his neck, just drilling it in there and putting a ball joint there so I can fit it in the body. And the rest of the armature is finished. But yeah, he's pretty much pretty simple puppet. He's a little different. He's not like my typical ones. He doesn't no movable eyes, no mouth or anything. But I can show you some of my other puppets. So right here is my Gandalf head, and one of them actually. I have two, and he has movable eyes. So you can just use like a pin like this, and you can move them around. It's really helpful for animation, and it makes it really easy. And you really just bake the beads in the clay in the oven, and I'll make a video about that, showing how I do it. And here's my Joe Rogan. It's the same kind of thing. He has a removable mouth actually, which I have a couple mouths that you can animate, and Gandalf has one too. He's just attached with the magnet, and you can just pop it on there like that. I only have one that's applied with the beard. The beard's kind of hard to put on there, but yeah, it makes it really easy for animating. You can just pop it on and off. Yeah, those are all of those. This one's a really simple puppet. It's not going to be super complex. The eyes won't move or anything, and the rest of the armature is pretty simple. It's like this is the arm for it right here. I just used some like Lego joints, brass tubes. I've got a little bolt right there holding it all together, and I'm gonna detail how I made these in my next video, showing everything about what I do, how I do it. And I got two of these made actually, so these probably won't be like made again. I haven't filmed this part, but you can expect to see something similar in the next one. But yeah, and then one thing I recommend before doing any of it is drawing out a picture. It's a scale drawing to what I'm actually going to make. So as you can see here, the head is in scale to the drawing, so it's really helpful in just coming up with the proportions and knowing where to put your wires. So like the red line here is where my wire is going to be, and then you can see like the joints, and then where I have like the strong kind of materials and green. So like I'm going to have milliput right there. It's like epoxy putty. Okay, it's really strong and it holds in the joint there. And I also have some Legos I'm going to use, but I have those all labeled out here. So before you do anything, I recommend making a drawing. It just makes it a lot easier for the entire process. So yeah, it's not too hard. Just planning ahead makes the entire battle a lot easier. So that's pretty much everything I have for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Hopefully it wasn't too boring, and hopefully it was pretty informational. I liked making this video, and I hope you like watching it. And I thank everybody for liking and subscribing. Hope you all have a fantastic day.